Well, I hope you saw our first installment of Matt F. working on Wild Horses. That was from February 18th. And again, that was about after 4 months from when he picked up the guitar, had about 5 or 6 lessons, 6 I think, leading into that. And what we have now is, a week later, the lesson on continuing with Wild Horses. So welcome to the Neil and Matt mini-series here, reality show too. And he had a lot more of it down this week, and we just decided, turn on the camera and let's see what happens. And things went a lot smoother, with still a glitch or two than the week before, but it sounded really good, and he was very enthused. Matter of fact, so enthused that I said, well, let's work on some of the other songs that we played way back in the beginning, and he hadn't touched them because he'd been so focused on Wild Horses as again, part of the surprising his wife on her birthday with the fact that he could play the guitar and sing. So I dragged out a couple of tunes we had talked about, Tequila Sunrise and Brown Eyed Girl, and we ran through them. Again, he had not touched them in a long, long time, and we just took a quick look at them, ran through them, and with Brown Eyed Girl we started working on how to remember it, how to get the chord progression, because it's fairly simple. So we talked about memorization, worked on a little bit of ear training, and then, well, actually that came a little bit later, and then went into the form that songs take. So we expect to see things in blocks of 4, 8 measures and some things like that. So then he had mentioned that he was a big Bob Seger fan, and I'd already figured that if he was pretty far enough along in Wild Horses, I would plop a Bob Seger song down in front of him, and we would play it, we would sight read it. So towards the end of this lesson, he happened to ask about any Bob songs. That's in part 3 of, this is lesson 2 on Wild Horses from February 25th, the week after lesson 1. And he asked about Bob Seger song, printed up still the same, put it down on the music stand, and well, first we did a little ear training on it, and then we just looked at it, and he was pretty successful at what I had said was going to be possible. He had pretty much mastered most chord changes, including some bar chords, the B minor we had to use, some quick changes, half measure changes, D to C and C to B minor, because of the way they work in Wild Horses. Had already broken out of keeping a repetitive pattern going, and was able to change the patterns. If he needed to do this, the standard ballad pattern could easily go into something like this. A little bit of more kind of build-up type pattern. So we then, at the end of that lesson, took a look at Still the Same, and his reaction is priceless. So hope you get a chance to check out this lesson 2 on Wild Horses, but it really included us taking a look at Tequila Sunrise, Brown Eyed Girl, and then, never having talked about it, taking a look at Still the Same. Here's a little bit from the real lesson, but encourage you to follow the saga of Matt and his quest to learn Wild Horses here at Totally Guitars. Again, this is part of our Fly on the Wall series, stuff we put up for the Target members every week. So these lessons are chock full of information. So hope you enjoy this. Matt's lesson 2 on Wild Horses. Okay, so this is our second run through. This is a week later than last week's, or than what we did last week. But now what we're going to try to do is get through it, no cues, see if you know all the words and all that kind of stuff. And the point is really stay focused and play through the mistakes. Don't look at the words. Only I can look at the words if you get stuck.
I wanted to get started.
From the top. Okay, hang on. I told you it was going to be different. It was a little different. But see, that puts you in closer to the mental space where you're going to be when you try to do this. So I didn't, you know, I wouldn't ask you to do this if I knew it was going to crash really badly. I knew it was not going to crash badly, but I knew it was going to slip a few times. Okay?
I'm better than that.
But that's okay.
That's
I mean,
okay.
and again, when we did it 10 minutes ago, it was much better because you were more relaxed about it.
Yeah.
Okay? And now your brain was in, now I got to make as few mistakes as possible, and look what happened.
I mean,
You made 10 times more than we did the time before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And and little spots, where was it? It was in the chorus. Something, the C's to D's, something was weird.
Yeah, I had a B minor that was really bad, and I had some D's. All my D's were just off.
Yeah. So sometimes you change. You know what? You were getting,
All my D's were terrible.
yeah, you were getting anxious about some of those changes, and so some of them came too early. It's like, am I gonna miss this? That's what was running through your brain, I think, a couple times.
Yeah, man.
So, but again, that was, so I'll let you watch this too. I mean, we'll save.
We don't have to say it. We can eliminate that.